What's up, gang? Today I'm going to be showing you how to transfer over to Storygraph and also showing you guys around Storygraph. This was actually a request by someone in a post I made on my channel, so thank you. Basically, I am moving to Storygraph from Goodreads because I don't want to be on an Amazon affiliated website anymore, and Storygraphs is an independent business. Not obviously a perfect business, no business is perfect, but I'm quite enjoying Storygraph, and someone was asking, oh, how do I move over to Storygraph? So I'm going to kind of show you how to do that because I already have done that, but there's one step mostly I think is the big one for transferring from Goodreads to Storygraph. I'll show that and I'll show you around Storygraph a little bit. Not sponsored, not affiliated with Storygraph in any way, just someone asked the question, and I am delivering. This hat is very ill-fitting, I'm not going to lie. This part, in particular, not great. But I digress. I don't need to pick up the hat anymore. So basically, when you sign up to Storygraph, you put in all your information, you put in all your data and whatnot, and then you get asked Goodreads import. You don't need to do this when you are first signing up for Storygraph. You can do it later. I basically went into my profile, went to manage account, and it'll be here as well. So you don't need to do it when you are starting up, but I kind of recommend you doing it anyway right away. It didn't take too long, and my Goodreads, I think, has about 400 or 500 books on there, maybe less, and it took 10-15 minutes to import everything. But basically, when you're starting up, they have instructions on how to do it, but basically there is something called an import. So here they will say import Goodreads library. They'll say that when you sign in. It gives you all this information, etc. Basically, to do this, you need to go onto your Goodreads and export your data, and it's a CSV. Don't get scared by someone saying CSV. CSV is just like a more broad version of Excel. It's basically an Excel doc, but it can be used on different programs. For example, I have a Mac, so I'm not using Excel, I use Numbers. A CSV can be opened in Numbers. Also, it's a little bit more moldable. I'm getting off track, but basically you would go to your Goodreads and you would export your CSV, and then when you're signing up, you basically then import the CSV here. Let me show you a CSV. So like I said, I use a Mac, so my CSV opened in Numbers. And basically, it looks like a Excel document. It's got just the book I read, the book ID that Goodreads gives it, which it seems Storygraph also will pull from, because it's probably just a general number, not just exclusive to Storygraph, to Goodreads. And it also has like my notes, has additional authors, it's got the ISBNs, it's got my ratings on there. This is an old CSV, so it was before I rated some of these books. It's got loads of information. If there is any information missing, and even Storygraph says this, it's usually going to be your dates read or the date started. You can add this here, like some of these books I've not put the dates because I think I wasn't recording that properly when I first started using Goodreads. But it will say, if you want to fill in the dates, you can in the CSV. Then you just save it as a CSV file. Don't save it as an Excel file or anything, or a Numbers file. I don't think Numbers has its own files. But just save it as a CSV file, and then where it says choose file, you would choose the file and you would choose your CSV and upload it and import it. I'm not going to do it again because I've already done it once and I don't want duplicates. But that's kind of as straightforward as it is. I'm going to hop over to Goodreads now and show you how to export the CSV file. So Goodreads kind of hides where you can find this stuff, obviously because I don't want people leaving the platform. But basically what you need to do is you go to your profile, you click on more here on your bookshelves, and I only really use one bookshelf, but I think it can put them all into one. And then you're on like this My Book section. Ooh, spoilers for books I've been reading recently. And then you go to here, import and export. And, oh god, it's just a wall of text. They try to make it as ugly as possible so you don't do it. But basically, you want to export your library, and then when you're exporting it, it's going to basically create a CSV. Sometimes it can take a very long while if you have a large library. It just makes a very big CSV. CSVs do take a little bit longer to download. I've handled large CSVs for jobs before, and sometimes it takes a while, so, leave, get a drink, come back, maybe it'll be done, maybe it won't, but it's going to put it all into that CSV file, and then you do the steps I was showing you earlier as to how to import it into Storygraph, either when you're signing up or when you have done afterwards. And as you can see here, they've exported it, and it gives me the date which is exported. And then you can click here, and I think it'll give you the download. I'm not going to click that in case it shows personal information. So now it's time for me to show you a little bit around Storygraph. So I'm on the homepage of Storygraph. This is what it looks like. I have mine set to dark mode. I always have all of my things set to dark mode, so it might look different for you. It might be different colors, but I have it set to dark mode. And basically, this is the homepage that I see. So it's got my to-read pile. It's got the 2 books I'm currently reading. Again, spoilers for what I'm reading at the moment. And then it will give you recommendations. I think I have this off just because I didn't want recommendations, so I have that off. It's showing you books that are popular. Ew, we don't care about that. Giveaways, I've not explored this yet, so I can't really talk about it. I think they give away books, as it says, but I've actually not looked into that at all, so I'm not gonna delve into that. You can look at your stats, and I think this is my favorite aspect of Storygraph because it's really cool at visualizing stuff. So, for example, this is my December look, I think, 2024, or yeah, no, this is all 2024. So from a 24 level, obviously you can go deeper by month, you can go by year, you can go all time. It's pretty cool. Click to generate a 2023 wrap up, so you can do a 2023 wrap up. I'm sure they'll introduce the 24 wrap up as well. You can see I have far exceeded my reading goal for the year. More on that in a later video. And then it gives you like different categories of the kind of books, and you can change this. So this is looking at the moods and the pace section. So it's the pace of the books, the breakdown of that, the mood. I can change this to length, and it'll change which graphs are here. This is still mood. I think it changes to some of the later graphs. Somewhere. Here. Somewhere. I don't know. I've read a book in Welsh this year. Did I? Okay, I assume I read a book in... Maybe it was a book that was in English and Welsh. But, you know, it's got my most read author for this year. Dear God. You guys need to go and watch that video, which I'm going to put above me, because I swear, I made those videos about Murakami to hate on him, and only one of those videos got views. So please go and watch my ranking Murakami video. I'll link it above and down below. At least I've got 2 Dostoevsky books, I suppose. Oh God, number of books and pages read. So August, I read 4,000 pages and only 9 books. I wonder what books I read in August. Must be some really long books if it's like an it's anomalous. So usually it tracks in line. Obviously in November I read 19 books. I thought I read 18. How many books did I read in May? I read 19 books in May? I don't even remember what I read in May. Maybe it was a lot of short books. I don't remember what I read in May. So yeah, it's pretty cool. You can definitely play around with this. So author. Oh, okay. It jumps to them. Okay. And like the genres I've read, so I've read mostly history, literary, politics. Obviously, books oftentimes have multiple genres listed. So like all of these history books are likely history and politics combined. But also there have been some strictly history and politics basically the same thing. Literary and probably history have also gone together with these young adult books, surprising number of books. I have read 1 horror book this year, actually. That's new for me. Yeah, video game books. I wonder what book that was. Must have been a book about video games I read. And my split between fiction and non-fiction. It looks at how many books depending on the number of pages, which is quite interesting. Like 300 to 500 has its own category. Kind of makes sense because like anything over 500 feels very different. And there's this thing called the pace, and all of these things like pace and mood are actually decided by users. So if I go to my home page, I can maybe click on We Prescribe You a Cat. That's a book I want to read. I'll probably read it next year. And so basically, all of these tags here are decided by people once they've read the book. And so it's all of these things here. So when you do a review, you can kind of give what mood it puts you in, the pace to read the book, This stuff I don't really fill in, like, is it plot-driven, character-driven, lovable characters, diverse cast? I don't do that, just because I have to think deeper. And especially when I finish a book, I'm mostly thinking about how it made me feel and the pacing, and then I kind of, on a second read or on a review, I will go back and think of these things more. But I like giving my star ratings as soon as I finish the book. But, you know, people do that. And then you give your star rating. And I like the star ratings because they've got quarter stars, and I believe in quarter stars now. Even though I remember I made a video a couple of years ago where I don't believe in star ratings. Now I do. But yeah, that's some of the stuff. There's also community things. I'm not going to click on that just because there are people on there I know who might not want me to show them in the community space. But yeah, you can set different goals. So I have my reading goal. Again, oh god, spoilers. I've far exceeded my reading goal and it's going to exceed further. You can set page goals and hour goals. I'm not really kind of interested in page and hour goals because that really depends on the book you're reading and how many books you're going to be reading or how fast or slow a reader you are. So that doesn't interest me. Finishing books interests me. I maybe would like in the future this to be a little bit more jazzy. Again, I know I have it in dark mode, so it might look different. But I do definitely think there's like places for Goodreads to grow and improve. But I think that's a good thing. They're a small business. They have loads and loads of people signing up. They did post a video on TikTok recently being like, a lot of people are going to be signing up in January. So, you know, maybe sign up beforehand. They said they bought 50 new servers to handle the load because a lot of people are doing what I'm doing, wanting to move away from Amazon to go to a different platform. And so a lot of people will probably move in January. So they have bought a bunch of servers to try and handle that. But if you are thinking of moving, I would try and do it before Jan, so at least the site is running like smoothly, in my opinion. But yeah, let me know if you're going to be moving over to Storygraph. This is my profile, so if you make a Storygraph, do add me as a friend. There is a thing they've said, basically they don't list who's following you. So basically they don't want it to be very social media-like. I would like to see how many people are following me or who's following me. That is maybe a vanity thing, but also it kind of does give me a feel of the kind of people who are following me. I can see what kind of books they're reading and I can tailor what I'm reading to them, or I can recommend stuff. But, you know, you can add people as friends. When you add people as friends, you can see what they're reading as well. So maybe it's meant to be less of a social media platform, kind of what Goodreads is going for, and more of like a community space. So that kind of makes a little bit more sense. But I would like to maybe see what my followers are reading, but I guess my followers can see what I'm reading. So I don't know. I've not used the platform for long enough to kind of see that. And like you can see my 5-star reads here. If you go to my account, you can see the books I've recently read. I liked one of these books. You can see what I'm reading at the moment. You can kind of, they've got this like, it shows what your kind of vibe is. Like, and I'm looking at this and I'm like, I kind of want to change this. Mainly reads fiction books. Me? I guess over the past 10 years, yeah. A medium paced? What? I like my books slow. Less than 300 pages? What do you mean? I can read long books, guys. But yeah, so if you are going to sign up for Storygraph, import your library, and then you can, you know, follow me, you can add me, whatever, on Storygraph, and then, you know, we can be bestest friends forever. Please don't form a parasocial relationship with me. I don't think I could handle that. But anyway, thank you for watching. If you like the video, remember to like, subscribe, share the video with a friend or family member. Hey, thank you to my members. I definitely peaked the microphone there. Thank you to my members over here. They get exclusive content twice a month. They get special emojis. They get first looks at almost all of my videos. And they also get to input in what kind of videos I make. Thank you to this person for suggesting this video for you guys. I hope it's decent. It's obviously extremely different to what I make. I mean, even if the tier lists, this is different to that. But hopefully this was informative, and hopefully this was good SEO to get people to my channel. It's all about the numbers, baby. Thank you for watching. I hope you read a great book today. Only one of these books is good, of these past 4. Only one of them.